Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Andreas. I'm an aspiring author. At the time of recording this, I haven't been published yet, but I'm hoping to be published very soon in 2026. I've been writing for years. I think I attempted my first book, must have been when I was about 14 years old. And then when I was 19 at university, I finally finished my first draft. I got that done and I've been editing it ever since. Sometimes it's not the hardest thing to actually finish a book, because when you write the end, sometimes you think that's the major achievement I've written the book, and then you go back and you read it and it's like, what was that? I guess that's happened if you are aspiring authors as well. That must have happened to you and you were like, what have I written here? So I wrote the first book when I was 19, finished it, editing ever since. After that, I decided to write basically a prequel or a prelude to the first book, which was designed to be a trilogy. And so I started working on that when I was about 22, between ages of 22 and 24, I finished that book. And again, been editing ever since. But that is the book that I want to take to market. That's called The Traitor's Eye. And again, watch this space, hopefully going to be published in 2026. I've been getting a lot better with my timings. So my first two books took a long time to get done. My third book, the second book of my trilogy or my series, took about a year to get done. And after getting feedback from one of my alpha readers, the edits took about another six months, so 18 months. So a big improvement on 10 years. So what got me into fantasy? Like all fantasy readers and writers, I think I'd have to put Tolkien very close to the top, probably my number one influence. Yeah, I read The Hobbit when I was still in primary school, and also The Lord of the Rings when I was in secondary school. And, you know, it was an inspiration. Also C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I read that and I was really inspired with, you know, the idea of bringing in wizards, creating new beings, creating a new world with magic. And I was really drawn to that, and that inspired me to write my own thing. Also beyond that, I'd say Greek mythology as well. Homer's The Iliad, the whole Odyssey, learning about Hercules as well. The Odyssey is perhaps one of the most inspirational fantasy writings ever, and probably inspired Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and a whole raft of fantasy authors that came before us. So definitely had that as a key influence. One of the things that I really love about fantasy is the journeys that it takes you on. So Frodo, when he's in Bag End talking with Gandalf, learning about the ring, the Dark Lord, then going on the journey to Bree, then to Rivendell, then on to Khazad-dûm, then on to Lothlorien. It's just an incredible thing. And also with C.S. Lewis, when the four brothers and sisters go on a journey to try to Cair Paravel, they go to the beaver's house, and you just get captivated by that journey. And that's something that I really wanted to bring into my own writings as well. And I love the kind of warmth of the genre as well. So when you're sat in Bag End with Gandalf, you can see him sitting there smoking the pipe. In Bree, when Frodo's at the pub, you can just capture the warmth of that vibe. When the four brothers and sisters are in the beaver's house in C.S. Lewis's Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, you can really capture that kind of warmth as they're telling the story. And I really wanted to kind of embed that in my storytelling as well. Other inspirations I've had are Dickens, Shakespeare, things, kind of literature that I studied at university. And Shakespeare, I think, is kind of a bit of a trope to say. I think he is really key to understanding English literature, and the inspirational characters that he's provided us with are really definitely have influenced me over my writing career. A lot of my influence as well comes from modern day world politics. So political events, political characters, political speeches. It's not just the realm of fantasy that I draw inspiration. And actually, I think a lot of fantasy writers have drawn inspiration from their world day events and major things that have happened in the political space, and then embedded that into fantasy. And I'm definitely no exception to that. So, in my author journey, which I'm hoping that you're going to come with me on this and see how I progress, and I want to be sharing updates of what's been going on. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. I finished my my first novel, which is called Gongor's Prophecy, not the one that I'm looking to start out with in my publishing journey, but that was the one that I was querying with to agents. I started in 2022. The aspiring writers out there that have queried with your manuscript, you'll know what a difficult and crushing process it can be. You know, you do gear up for rejection because it's inevitable, but the stream of rejection that comes through, I think the first one I was like, it's fine, I'm just going to plow through, but then it really does kind of build up with you, and you do stop and start thinking, you know, is my manuscript ready? Do I need to make some changes? And I'll reveal some more of that in future videos. But I've been on and off querying on that, and but this year I decided I was going to make a leap and really push forward with my prequel book, Traitor's Eye. And I launched a blog around that just just over a month now. I've put out a lot of articles looking at the history of the world that I've created, trying to give you a window into what to expect, some of the characters, without giving away any spoilers, of course, because of course I want you guys to read the book when it comes out. So I hope you like the sound of the world that I've created. Check out my blog, the links are below. And if you want to hear more about this and follow my journey and let me take you on a journey as well, I'd love it if you would subscribe, click the notification buttons below, and keep looking out for the posts. This is going to be the first of many.